morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Nice to have you here.
Oh, it's brilliant to be here.
That's good. Scottish Government have really supported the showcase and really got behind us. Why do you think it's important to support agricultural shows and this type of thing?
I think, well, especially it has been such a difficult past year where all shows had to be cancelled, and this is such a flagship event and such an important event for farmers to come together as well as for the general public. I think is it around 200,000 people that you normally have through the doors?
That's right.
Yeah, so I think it's just been fantastic to be able to support some kind of event, and even though it's not on the scale it would have been on previously, I think that at least one of the benefits of what we've come through the past year is the fact that it opens it up now to a whole new audience through the streaming, through the website that you've got as well. So I think that's actually quite an exciting opportunity.
Yeah, no, we hope so too. We're nervous about it, but we hope so too. And that brings us on to, so we get a lot of international visitors at the show. This year we're going global, and we've already heard from somebody in Australia who's getting ready to watch the live stream when it goes up shortly. What do you think the opportunity is for Scotland's farmers and rural producers, on a global stage?
Oh, I think there's absolutely massive opportunities there, and I think it's really important for that global audience to see the kind of animals that we produce here in Scotland and to really have that global spotlight on us here. And I think having that opportunity is just fantastic. So it's really good to be able to make the most of it and show other people around the world exactly what we do here.
Yeah, no, it's great. And you just said that the Anguses are looking fantastic, and we've got them, they're a global breed, but their home is here.
Oh, it really is. I always have a special affinity with the Angus, well, given that it's the part of Scotland that I'm from as well. So yeah, holds a special place in my heart, but yeah, they're looking bra this morning.
Good. And we're hearing a lot about climate change mitigation. We've got COP26 coming up at the back end of the year. Agriculture has a challenge there, but also from our members' point of view, we think that there's a lot of opportunity as well. I mean, from your brief, what do you think in terms of the opportunities for Scotland's farmers?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that undoubtedly this is a pivotal point for agriculture in Scotland. There are so many challenges. We've been through Brexit, we've had the pandemic, and there's climate change on top of that as well. But I think that can also be seen as a massive opportunity. We've had the farmer-led groups who've been leading the work into climate change. I think those groups have been really important because they've been industry-led, because we can only do this and meet those targets that we have by very much working with industry, who clearly getting very riled behind me here.
They're very vocal.
A very vocal group, and rightly so. But that's why we're really keen to drive that work forward. And within the first 100 days, we'll set up an implementation board to drive forward the recommendations of the farmer-led groups.
And the farmer-led groups, for you as a government, and how do they work? Do they, is it about getting the right people? Is it getting, a broad section? How, what's the value in the farmer-led side of things for you?
Oh, it's just been incredibly valuable because we had each of the sector-led groups to really bring forward recommendations and practical recommendations that will work for their sector. But not just practical recommendations, they're really ambitious too. And this will take everybody getting on board and everybody working with us. But we've also had a whole host of other reports that we need to consider as part of that as well. We've had the climate change plan update, Farming for 1.5. There's been an awful lot of work that's going on. So that's what's happening now. It's collating all those reports, bringing that together, then setting up the implementation board to help drive that work forward.
Super. And you're talking about hearing different voices there. It's really important that we get a really inclusive representation of the sector, whether it's on those boards, whether it's in places like the RAS membership and that sort of things. So what do you think needs to be done around that inclusivity piece?
Oh, you're absolutely right. And that's where, I see that as a crucial part of my job, is getting out and engaging with different groups, engaging with industry as well. And I've set out and done that over the past few weeks since I've been in post, and really intend keeping that engagement going, because again, we need to work together with industry if we've got a chance of meeting the ambitious targets that we've got, and we want to be inclusive as possible.
And that implementation board that you talked about there, how are you going to make sure that's got the right representation?
Well, that's one of the critical questions that we'll be looking at. So we're still setting that up at the moment. So the membership of it hasn't been established, but we've got to make sure that we have industry representation on that as well, and that we have the trust of everybody that's involved in it. And I think that's what the work of the farmer-led groups has been really important in really building that. They have that trust with industry, and we very much want to keep that and enhance that work, because we all need to work together.
We're really lucky in Scotland in that the sector is big and important, but actually it's not too difficult to connect. direct.
Yeah.
You know, you can get people together. Things like Showcase, the Royal Highland Show. You know, already Martin Kennedy, the NFU's been here. You know, it's not too difficult to pull people together. And you know, when you ask people to be part of those things, do they tend to say yes and engage positively?
Well, I'll find out when I ask them shortly. Yeah. But I do think that's what I like about industry here too. You're absolutely right. And I would like to think that, you know, as a government, we're open, we're transparent as well. We look to engage as much as we possibly can. And I think that's really important.
You're consistent about that approach, actually, to make sure that people know who you are, know how accessible it is, and to have these type of conversations. And the one thing about things like the show is COVID compliant way. People can grab you and say, look,
exactly.
You know, I've got an issue and I want to chat about it. So no, that's good. We're going live with Showcase now. The streaming's just about to go online. You've just arrived a few hours ago. You know, what are your first sort of thoughts on what's going on around us?
Oh, I think it's just actually fantastic to be out at an event. I think this is, well, my first one in the job, which is really good. And it's just been brilliant to catch up and speak to people who've been involved in setting this up, and to yourself, Alan. But obviously it's a bit quieter than it normally is. You're not pushing through the crowds to get here. But it's just fantastic to have an event, and hopefully this is a start of the recovery of agricultural shows and other events from here on.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
And you were at the show in 2019, and you know, different brief at the time. But you know, what was your sort of best thing that you saw from a full show? What was the thing you most enjoyed that you talk about to friends and family when you went home?
Oh, to be honest, I think it is. It's just the conversations that you have when you're walking around. I just loved taking that bit of time, going around and meeting all the different folk, because that's the thing. Normally when you're here, you have an absolutely jam-packed agenda and you've got loads of different events to do. But to me, that's always been the most enjoyable bit, is getting out, speaking to the farmers and speaking to folk that attend the show. And really, that's the best bit and most enjoyable bit.
Good. Well, it's really appreciated that you're here. Thank you very much for your support. And it's also, we're really proud that this is your first visit in your new cab secretary role. So good luck.
Thank you.
And if you need anything from us, please do not hesitate to shout.
Oh, we will, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.